What up? What up? This is Romy Mac. Welcome to 2 Cents, where we talk about any and everything, give our 2 cents. Today's show is entitled "No Apology for Our Blackness." Yes, and that's just I would say in response to the responses that were that have been given outside of the black community, maybe in some of the black community, but in regards to like the support that Black Panther has been getting from some, from most, I would say from most of the black community, going like the actual support that it's getting for the movie. But yeah, well, before we jump into that, I want to introduce, today's co-host, Sugar Booger, better known as Ebony. So, what's up, Mama?
What's up?
Shit. We'll get right into it. Obviously Black Panther came out. I got to see it Wednesday. It was great movie. I loved the movie. Everything from beginning to end. Loved the villain. Loved the protagonist. Loved the antagonist. A couple symbols that were inside of the storyline. It was it kind of this stood out of like how Africa having these resources or whatever, and not sharing with the rest of the world. And of course America seeking out to get said resources that they do have, diamonds and things of that nature. It was real that symbolism that was with it, and how you had Black Panther's character who was like African, and then you have Killmonger, Eric Killmonger, Eric Stevens, however you want to refer to him, his character being African American, and just like how he carries himself versus how an African carries himself. But overall, I quite enjoyed it. I enjoyed the movie. I talked about it a little bit on the locker room, but but just you're getting your thoughts as far as like seeing black women being warriors and roughly being the strongest force that was in the movie. To me, that's what I gathered from it, which I thought was pretty dope. How it was made that way. But what were your thoughts on it?
I love the movie. I mean, it was good. I watched the majority of the Marvel comics, or not comics, but the movies. And then my husband pretty much explained or fill in the blanks and stuff that I didn't understand about it, tying in with everything on Marvel.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was a good movie. I like Ragnarok better, to tell you the truth. But, it was great. It was good. I should have took my daughter to see it. I felt kind of bad for not taking her this time around because she's seen just about all of them. And I was kind of judged a little bit by some folks. When they're like, oh, you treat your 5-year-old to go see it. It's like, yeah, it's not, it's got violence and stuff, but, hey, it's whatever. And so I should have her. She probably would have enjoyed it. Yeah, hopefully the whatever comes out after this one is just as good. And they always come out with good Marvel movies anyway, so, I wasn't surprised. I was a little, one thing that I expected was to be other characters from other series to be in there, but I guess not. It was just two individuals.
Yeah.
That was surprising. I was kind of surprised with that aspect of it, But other than that, yeah, it's a great movie. Killmonger, I mean, he did one hell of a job playing that character. He did a great job. What's his name? Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, Michael B. Jordan.
He did one hell of a job playing a villain. That was really good. I wish I could have seen more out of him, but yeah, I think that was good so far. He kind of reminded me of who's his brother? A little bit of Loki, kind of, but I still I like Loki there anyway. So they're kind of similar, how it that, but yeah, I enjoyed it. For those that don't understand, I noticed that some people never seen or heard of it, and they're just assuming that they just made this movie about a black superhero. It's part of that was written, long ago, years ago.
Yeah.
So some people should get it twisted, and there's, another movie comes out after this, And, they'll probably be surprised about how it turns out, and it's not gonna be the way that you expect it to be because he's doing the comics. But I'd say to everybody, don't just watch that movie. Go see all the other shows, all the other Marvel movies. Yeah, there's Spider and everything. It's really good, and it's sad that a lot of people didn't know that this is part of a comic. They just do, hey, it's a black movie, come out. No, that's not the case. I guess from what my husband told me, the writer of the comic was actually an activist, I think. I could be wrong, but I guess he was like an activist. So I guess it's a huge part of him writing this. So I think that's pretty cool right there, in itself, yeah. That's all I gotta say.
Okay. Well, I think, yeah, I'm definitely I co-sign everything you just mentioned about the film. I liked it. I thought Mayor Michael B. Jordan did a great job playing Killmonger, being a villain. I believed him. And that's what we want in movies. Is the job is to make us believe that character, and he definitely played that role really well. Have the entire cast. The entire cast is wonderful. Angela Bassett gave us, only the greatness that she can, do. My man, yeah, my man from Get Out, his character was done well. Forrest Whitaker played his character with one eye closed. It was he was great. Chadwick Boseman, he did his he did his thing. It was just I just really thought it was a great film. Now, some of the responses to that film, to Black Panther from, one, I have an issue with like two, from two sides. One from the black community, some of the black community, not all the black community, because we're part of that, but like some folks in the black community feeling like that movie was solely for just us. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was someone posted a picture. It was like majority white, couple blacks, and like maybe maybe like a speck of like maybe an Asian or Latin in the picture, and they're all doing the Wakanda symbol, for I believe unity, crossing their hands and stuff, and they were like thoughts like, what do you want us to think? That should we have an issue with the fact that they're, like that they're that way? You know what I'm saying? Like they're showing, showing their, support for the film. Like, do you feel like the movie is only for black people? That's my question, because long before there was, it was about the impact of this film. And don't get me wrong, it's really awesome to see a black lead in a movie, and not be about being a gangster or being he's not a rapist or a slave or anything like that. So it's really good to see a black superhero on this level of mainstream. But let's know that this is a comic. This is a comic movie long before it was what it is today. It was a comic story long before it was this movie that has garnered so much support from both the black community and of course the comic world. It was awesome. It was a really great movie, and it's really awesome to see folks from our community going out and actually supporting a film with a predominantly all black cast. But it's not only for black people. And then there's the other side of this issue where some outside the black community feels some type of way about us supporting our our people in a movie like such. What I'm saying? Black Panther. I don't get the what you have to understand is that it's not very common that we get to see us in such a light. Like in movies where we're kings. What I'm saying? Like, this is basically a black king in Wakanda, and he's not a thug or anything like that. He's just taking care of his country. He's taking care of his people, and it's just super dope. It's like, it's not to be taken. Black pride is not racism. You know what I'm saying? Like, for us to support, one another, that's not racism. That's the I don't know how I don't know why that's misconstrued in some way, but yeah, it's not racism, and yeah, yeah. I don't know anything else really to say in regards to the fact, like, why do you feel the fact that this was such a, such an attack on you, or like you feel some type of way, like, why is it made a big, it's a big deal because of the opportunity given that's not commonly given. That's why it's a big deal to those outside the black community who do not understand why, there's so much, I would say, hype, or so much praise for this movie, and what it does reflect in, I would say, in black cinema. We weren't always given certain opportunities to be in such a position. So for Ryan Coogler, 31 years old, to be able to direct a movie of this magnitude and make so much money doing so, for Chadwick Boseman to be the first mainstream, I would say, black superhero, chosen to be the first black superhero, I would say the mainstream black superhero. I mean, we've had the likes of a Blank Man or a Meteor Man and stuff like that, but like one that you actually would say, I would say, you want to be, is it's amazing. It really is amazing to see this come to form. And I just, again, it's just nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with supporting, what I'm saying, your culture, and, especially in the situations like this. I thought it was, I really thought it was I thought it was a great storyline, and I think everybody did their job as what we expected them to do. So, yeah, yeah. With that being said, we'll move on to. Well, no. Actually, what are your thoughts about folks that feel some type of way about, black folks supporting the movie so hard?
I mean, it's great to support the movie, but sometimes I feel that our priorities in supporting certain things may be a little backwards, perhaps. Somebody touched on something that made a valid point that even I didn't even think about it. When they're saying, hey, y'all supported this movie, huge turnout, but when it comes to doing stuff like, voting or things like that in the communities and whatnot, it's not so much a huge turnout. And, it has some truth to it, it can be done. The same goes for, we always talk about, supporting black businesses and stuff like that. When something like this comes out of a movie, everybody comes out. But you can't get anything else like that. Something involving some type of celebrity, or whatever, The movie was great. I didn't watch it because it was black people playing. No, I watched because the comics.
Yeah, of course. That's us. We've been following all comics. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is.
Right. I don't care who directed it. I was going to watch it because it was part of the series that I had been watching already. But for, are they going to go back to one after this? Probably not. I know they were discussing, like, I guess I don't know, I'm probably going to mess this up. LGBTQ community was upset about they were not being portrayed in the movie, but once again, it was based off of a comic. So
what?
There was nothing else,
So who's the gay character though? What name a gay character in Black Panther?
Yeah. So I mean,
was the Asian community upset about not being in Black Panther?
Yeah. So
were the little people upset because there were no little people in the movie?
Right.
Like, there's no, like, let's make sense of our of our argument, And speaking of making sense, we'll talk about Monique. Further with her being upset about not getting her the amount of money she felt deemed worthy to do a Netflix special. Yeah. You saw you saw the interview. So Eb, I'll let you really just kind of go into that.
Yeah. So I just watched it right before starting the show, actually.
Right.
And, Man, my takeaway from this is, first of all, number one, you're on a show, right?
Yeah.
You want people to seriously, and you try to figure out why you would call donkey today. First of all, that's just professional. You don't call somebody by their government name. This government is being respectful, calling you ma'am, this and that. He had a nerve to call by his government name.
I find it funny. I find that funny.
So that's trying to be shady. Shady. That's throwing shade. Me and Penny. Off the bat, we already had an issue. And then you call. I understand that her husband is her manager, but come on, you calling this nigga daddy on the damn yeah, honey,
Yeah.
if I was Netflix, I wouldn't either. You come. If somebody comes to me and you call him daddy, no. And then you don't call me my government, no. That's a huge turn off. But so the thing is I watched the whole interview and they could have some valid points, but if you can't throw a number as to how much you are worth with comparing yourself to others, then honestly that's a no.
Yeah. Monique, let's her resume and as far as stand-ups go, let's just keep it about stand-up because that's what she wanted to do. It wasn't about.
When was the last time she did stand-up though? When was the last time?
The last time she did one was like 2013. I think she did like one for in 2013.
So if I'm gonna throw big dollars at you,
Yeah, one you gotta be relevant. It's about making yourself relevant. When was the last time she did a show? Now she's been doing a great job. I've been seeing videos of her doing exercise. So she's been very fit. She was getting herself. She's definitely lost a lot of weight, and definitely kudos to her for doing so. But to come into a radio station, being with a controversial individual who does not back down from controversy, to roughly trying to say, why was I given donkey of the day? Yeah, like you said, everybody gets donkey of the day when it comes to Charlamagne. Does he get all the information? Did he have all the information? I don't understand why that's such a big deal. I think I forgot that she got donkey the other day. If you want to be honest about it, yeah, that shit we don't care about that, but what's important is like, you think that that's gonna stir us away from supporting you because you were given donkey of the day. Charlamagne is giving himself donkey of the day. What does that mean? Like how you're saying how powerful you mentioned how powerful the microphone is. Yet you go in there and you give out Charlamagne's government name. She made a couple cases that one can get behind. One, as far as like having the whole story, as before making a statement. I'm all about that.
Whatever the story was that they were trying to tell, it didn't even add up to what they were saying. Oh, gender equality and this and that. Where are all these people that are? So you telling me that you're not getting a fair portion? But then she brought up the ladies from the Queens of Comedy. If one of them came out today and said, "Hey, I need to get, I'm worth this." Wait a minute, you ain't getting nothing for sure. Why would I throw dollars at you? Why would I throw so much money at you? I ain't seen no work from you in I don't know how long.
Yeah.
Just today. There you go.
Yeah, it's don't get me wrong. Monique, comedian, she does have some. I've seen her be funny. She is funny. Somewhat. Is she hysterically funny? Am I talking about her the way I would do of I don't know, Samore. To me, Samore is the funniest stand-up comedian I've seen. And not even Samore has talked about that. I know she did one special a couple years ago, the Chandeliers one or whatever. Very funny. I love Samore. Samore is by far one of my top favorite female comedians, that is, and always brings the funny. But as for Monique and trying to explain the situation. She was not able to really provide enough information as to why she deserved to be, be paid for her services, in a sense. Oh, that was my baby. Oh, that was Phoenix. Yeah, I feel. I mean, like, to be honest, I don't find Amy Schumer funny. Amy Schumer got paid $13 million, but Amy Schumer's relevant. Sad to say, that's really what it boils down to. Amy Schumer is relevant. Amy Schumer is relevant, and she has, she has the youth on her side too. That's another factor. Nothing personal against Monique, but you're more prone to go to, I would say, Amy Schumer, for her being relevant, going to her show than Monique, who is one older and not relevant. And I mean, yeah. My thing is, why not go to another network willing to pay you what you're worth? I mean, then you make other networks feel bad for not doing so by you doing such a great job. That's the best revenge. The best revenge is success. You know what I'm saying? That's really what it boils down to. The best revenge is success. So, you have to stay in the fight and continue going on about yours. Yeah, you want to stand up. You're standing up for women. This is like what she mentioned. It was like a Me Too movement thing for her, right? Standing up for for Black female comedians. But with Netflix, though, I'm not trying to down Netflix, because I do use Netflix like that. But as far as them as a film company, they're like toddlers with that. Like, were you talking about Netflix movies 10 years ago? Were you talking about them 5 years ago? This is very new. So I don't think it's time. I think it's too early to be upset with them, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it was, whatever. I hope women get all the equal rights that they deserve and all that. But again, I think this is more so about relevancy. If you ask me, I think it's more relevant. It's like relevancy with this. But I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. Yeah, it's a whole mess.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. I'm sticking with Netflix. I don't care. It's Netflix.
We gotta boycott. You gotta boycott at least one movie. Don't watch one Netflix movie. Like, don't watch Stranger Things or something. Like, skip episode 3 of Stranger Things to let them know you mean business. That's probably the best thing to do.
Other people, if they start trying to boycott Netflix, you heard everybody else that got shows on Netflix. But I don't know. Like I said, hey, if you gotta put yourself out there. Someone made a comment on there, hey, you working at a job, CEO or whatever, you quit, and then you start working at your for a couple of years, and then you try to come back. You're not going back because you've been out of the game for a while.
Right.
So don't think you about to get CEO money right off the bat.
Yeah.
So you need to start hustling. Book a bunch of shows. That's the thing. You book shows with these, and Netflix just selling.
Yeah, I mean, she feels like she's a legend. She's the most decorated comedian, and yeah, that's fine that you feel that way, but you don't. Who claimed you? Was that something you did that's self-proclaimed, or did the masses say, "Yo, we want that Monique"?
Going off the fact that they were told, you are a legend. Just because somebody called me a legend at my job, I'm a legend all of a sudden. I think I should be called master starter now because I'm a legend. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
No. Just because I'm called this does not mean you have to show the work. You gotta show the work. That's just 10 years ago. But what are you doing now? What are you bringing to the table now to show that you are worth this amount of money? What are you doing now? It's the present. That's the thing. So understand that. What are you doing now to bring to the table?
Yeah.
That's what any profession is. They're going to ask you that. What are you doing now? What do you bring to the table now?
Yeah.
Now, we should throw this amount of money at you.
while Key and Peele was doing what they did, on Comedy Central, and Kevin Hart was doing what he did, Dave Chappelle went on the road and worked his way, doing house shows and things like that. Like, went back, being a stand-up comedian, and now he's in a position to where his name was big enough that he could garner getting a $20 million, deal. Nothing personally against, Monique. You've been blackballed by Hollywood for the most part. It's because of how you carry yourself, and again, that's nothing. We are who we are. But you kind of made your bed in a sense. But but definitely support Monique getting her shine on. Definitely lift you up, my sister, and continue to work towards the next big thing for yourself. That's really all I can tell you. And to any woman, I hope that really honestly that you do get the things that you deserve. If you feel like you're being slighted at your job because you're a woman and you're not being treated the same way because you are a woman, there's something you definitely should speak up about it. You should let your voice be heard. To be honest, it is the right time to do so, especially with everything that's going on in the news and the media with the Me Too movement. This is the perfect time to voice any issues that you may have had with male colleagues or what have you, that you may have felt have been unfair to and unjust. So take this time, to do so. And for the fellas that know that you have coworkers or anybody that may be being mistreated or or have been done wrong, and you can also be a witness. You know what I'm saying? Like back up your female coworkers and getting things set right. Like there was an issue with I guess the Dallas Mavericks owners thing. Like there was like a vice president or president of like what goes on over at the American Airlines thing, because there was an improper conduct being done, and the woman decided to speak out against it in another incident, and then another incident would pop up. So we put ourselves in a situation where we have to we have to speak out about these things, and stuff will wrongs will be made right, and that's really what's important. So just basically I'm all about Monique getting hers, but you're not relevant, so you're not gonna pay you top dollar as much as you want that. You can work your way back up towards that. So hopefully, you you're gonna do what you do regardless. But hey, you stick with that. Definitely have your core fans to be there beside you. Another note this week. So of course, in the aftermath of last week's shooting here in Broward County, Parkland area, there was this the powers that be have decided, namely Donald Trump, has decided the best method to respond to this is for teachers to be armed with guns. Okay, so the answer is to have more guns. That's what you feel is like the best thing. And there are those that even support this cause, like for teachers to have guns. No, wrong on so many occasions. One, we're not even sure that teachers are even feel comfortable enough to even have that that duty pressed upon them, that type of responsibility put upon them. And two, what if the teacher is unstable too? Now you have an unstable person with a firearm that would probably that can attack my kid. I'm gonna have a problem with that. I really am gonna have a problem with that. So I think it's just wrong on so many levels. Wanting to have these teachers to be armed with firearms, and it amazes me how folks that folks that see like the good in this. Yeah, it sounds like a great idea. It sounds like a great idea. Not everybody is equipped to use a gun, and a gun is nothing to like really toy with. No, it's not. The system is not foolproof to arm, a school teacher who is there to teach, not to, not to shoot, not to be a soldier or anything like that. That's why we have, our military. Our military is supposed to be dealing with that. That's how that works. But I mean, Ebony, you're a mother. How would you feel about someone teaching your kid with the firearm in the room?
I don't think that's the right thing. And I know a few people that I know that are teachers are actually against this as well, with being armed with firearms. As a mother, as a black mother, soon to be having a black son at that. Just think of all these instances where they're like, please do not operate. So, teacher has a gun, kid is, they could be talking trash, whatever. Teacher pulls out the gun. Oh, I felt threatened, so I shot the kid. You know what I mean? There's that, and then, like I said, if a teacher could come to work pissed off one day, shoots up some people. They had a bad day at home, or whatever the case is. They bring it to work and they shoot up the school. They mad at the principal because they got reprimanded for something, anything. So I don't think that's the right. What I find very funny is that not really funny, haha, but funny as in I've never really been to too many public schools or whatever. So, but I'm gonna just say from what I hear, especially like inner city kids, primarily African American, Hispanic schools, whatever, low income schools. Back in the days, this is not new. First of all, this is not. I went to school that had gun shops that had bullet holes in the window. So but I mean, usually you going after that one person. So I mean, my thing is, a lot of these schools have what? Detectors. But you got people showing up on Facebook. Oh, I put a door stopper in my kid's backpack. Close the door. You just do it.
Yeah.
I mean, so who's that going to be teaching your kid to jump in front of the door while somebody is shooting bullets and putting the door stopper in it? Really? You can shoot through the door.
I'm not a fan of it. I'm not for it. I'm against it. I'm totally against teachers having guns. They have no business having guns. Neither do students. And you damn sure shouldn't have, an assault weapon at the age of 19 or 18.
Why do we need them anyway? They should be. Why do we need them?
Why there? Don't tell me that they're better. It's better to like to kill, for hunting and shit like that. I don't think though. Again, I'm not a hunter. I don't come from a family that hunts. My meat is bought store packed. I don't. I don't. I'm not out in the woods. Elmer Fudd, rabbit season, duck season, nothing of none of the above. But I feel like assault weapons. If anything for hunting, you should have a rifle. Your traditional rifle, 12 gauge or something like that. But you don't need a rapid fire assault weapon. And we shouldn't, and our kids shouldn't be able to get that at such an early age. It's very disheartening to know that they're able to get their hands on something like such. And for these,
and people are not watching their kids either. And when people are getting tipped off on stuff like this, or people are making threats, and it seems like it's not being taken literally or seriously until somebody gets killed, which is sad. The FBI knew about this. What the hell were y'all waiting on? If y'all knew about this, what were y'all waiting on? Somebody obviously waiting for somebody to get killed to take it seriously. Oh, we knew about the situation. Well, you didn't do anything else other than just knowing about it?
Yeah.
Go to that, knock on that door, go search the house, search the area, whatever, and how the hell it's just something that's like around here in the area that I live in, not in this town, but a town over, not too far, it takes about 5 minute drive here. Some kids got busted for making threats and things and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a few things this past week. There's a couple kids.
So I mean, and how old is this stuff? How your parents know? The good thing is people pick it up and they took it seriously. It should always be taken seriously. Whether or not there was a real threat, it should always be treated as a real threat.
Yeah, there are a couple kids, this past week here in South Florida that tried to pull that bullshit. Like, yeah, I'm gonna come to school and I'm gonna shoot up whoever, and then like some parents have turned in their kid trying to plot to do these things, which is really good, and it's like changing, which has helped making our society better. I think that for whatever reason, this is like it. I feel like that was the straw that broke the camel's back, at least for Broward County. It's like they're not gonna have it. Like the teachers for Stone, Marjorie Stoneman Douglas went back to school today, and I'm sure that it was one of the roughest things they ever had to go through, besides what they went through last week on Valentine's Day.
To the kids, they're the ones that are saying like, "Hey, this is what nobody was that."
Yeah.
Nobody is paying attention to these kids.
Yeah, I mean, we're so consumed. I mean, collectively, we're so consumed by social media that we don't take the time to realize that we're missing life. And if we're so consumed with social media, how can we be paying attention to our kids? And when our kids look for, validation or, security and things, they look to, social media, likes and, comments and things. And if they're not getting that, then they probably feel, have a sense of low self-esteem. And that is something that can be shaped at the foundation that is home. And I just, I don't know. I really do think that
it starts at the home, and then it starts with that what is it called, the village.
Yeah.
It really does. But we've taken up. This is the problem. We can't discipline our kids like we want to. Everybody is all about themselves instead of taking care of each other, and this is what happens. And then you ignore signs of when somebody's having an issue. The whole bullying thing. Bullying ain't the same as what it was back when we were growing up. When it was just words you talking about somebody's mama. It's a completely different thing now. And so people tend to turn a blind eye to that type of stuff. Oh, they need to toughen up. Well, yeah, they're gonna toughen up already. They're gonna come to school with damn guns.
Well, I mean, meanwhile, our president is telling, his whole campaign was encouraging these type of acts, upon our people. You know what I'm saying? Like, he encouraged violence. So when violence happens, now you blame it on video games, which I find that to be very funny. They tried that bullshit with Grand Theft Auto. That shit don't work, man. Like,
it does. Let me tell you this. I got a 5-year-old, and I don't know how many video game movies that she has seen with so much violence in it. So much. I'm a 5-year-old, okay? I don't hide stuff like that from her. That type of thing. Doesn't have sex in it. I'm hiding. Now that she had been aggressive in any way, shape, or form, not saying that she won't. She probably will when she gets older. But that is not where it starts. It's what I teach her. She acts just like me and my husband. She has our quirks and our everything. That is where it starts. It starts with who is raised. It has nothing to do with what these kids are watching on TV. What you are promoting. I have my daughter watching this stuff, but I let her know off the bat that, hey, this is just a game. This is not something you do at home in real life. Yes, somebody can get shot, die from a bullet wound or whatever, but the type of stuff that you see here it stays there, and that's it. And that, like I said, it starts with the family. It starts with the parents, what they're teaching these kids. You turn blind. Your child's teacher is telling you that this person is acting out or whatever. You need to pay attention to that type of stuff. They might be angels at home, but they might be a little asshole at work or at school. up a lot, back up the home, she'll get outside the house.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Some kids are like that. Parents, people always think that, oh, my kids will never, and they'll do this and that. No, I'm pretty sure mine is going to do something, and, you know, I'm going to have to tear a little butt up. But that's where it starts with us. And then if I expect even my neighbors to see my child doing something that she ain't got no business or whatever, they say something to her, and you need to come tell me too. Put them in their place. Everybody turns a blind eye and everything now. It ain't nothing. It ain't my business. I'm not going to deal with it. Like these kids need that on guns. These idiots that sold these kids these guns. I mean, come on now, really? I'm gonna sell an 18-year-old a gun, but I'm against abortion. Really? I can use that, but you see where I'm going with it?
Yeah, yeah.
But sell a kid a gun. Like it's this.
Yeah. Also,
You know.
I wanna talk about how brave these kids are. These kids that I would say that we are raising in today's society. These teenagers, because of how what their response was to these to the shootings, especially those the kids from Broward. Today they staged there was a walk. I don't know if this week, I don't say today. It was a walkout. These kids walked 11 miles in support for Douglas, the school that had the shooting. And then also you had the town hall that happened this week, and these kids that were involved in the shooting spoke to the spokeswoman for the NRA and the Sheriff Israel of Broward County, and and CNN, and they've just been handling it so professional, despite going through such a traumatic event a week ago. And they were getting on buses going to Tallahassee trying to talk to the powers that be that can make change in our society in regards to guns. And despite being turned down the first time, it doesn't mean that's the end for them. They just continue to fight. They don't want to ban they don't want to ban assault weapons in Florida. And the count was 36 to 71. As far as like who voted, as to voting against having guns being banned. But the fighting spirit that these teenagers have, because it is their lives that are really at stake every day as they go into these schools. And you shouldn't have to worry about whether somebody's going to come in there and try to be a copycat and repeat these heinous acts on our kids and their teachers. It's very unfortunate that we even have to discuss these things. I didn't have to deal with this, and again, my upbringing. I was fortunate to go to school and just worry about school, not so much if anybody was going to come and try to do some harm to me, resulting in grave danger. And it just shows the difference, and I want to say maybe the leniency that we do have in our society right now. And what is it? You have to question a person's thought process to say that we should do away with we should do away with guns. We should give guns to our teachers. Like, what message are you sending? So we're having issues because we have guns. So your response to it is to bring more guns. That's the answer. That's the answer. But I know, despite with who's in office, I'm not shocked of the answer given. It's just sad that these things have come to pass. But just really want to commend these brave young leaders of America, our future leaders of America, for doing for taking a stand against this stuff. And there's a few events that are coming up in the coming weeks in support of these being against gun violence in school and gun laws. One thing can be looked at as if they're trying to go against the Second Amendment. I don't think the Second Amendment was. I think they were dealing. Yeah, I mean, it was a mother that stood. That she lost her daughter, and she spoke at the town hall, and it was like back then the Second Amendment. They were talking about muzzles. They were not talking about assault weapons. and that makes very strong case as to why they can ban assault weapons. But again, the NRA is worrying about the money that they receive, and they want they want to keep that. They want to keep that money flowing as far as like the people that support that they pay for. For instance, Senator Mark Rubio, he didn't really answer, like at the town hall, he didn't really answer the question straight when he was asked, as far as like, how do you feel about banning assault weapons? And he's just like, we can, ban bump stocks and all that, but he would not give a straight answer saying that we should get rid of assault weapons here in the state of Florida. And these are the people that have been voted in. So again, you've you caught the attention to voters for them at at the local level to understand that if they don't care about our kids' safety, then who does? And you put these people in positions to where they can make a difference. So now you have to think of, you have to change things again. So, okay, all right, fine. Now, who do we put in office? Who's going to put our kids, in a position to where they won't feel threatened? There's a couple kids that stood up and said, I don't want to go back to school until you can assure me that it's going to be a safe place. Now, the sheriff, as far as the schools here in Florida, South Florida, the sheriff has ordered for officers to be at these schools with rifles in the event something does, happen. So, yeah, that's all well and good, but we need to talk about, I would say gun reform. I don't want guns to be taken away from from us. You know what I'm saying? I think you should have the ability to protect your family. But I don't think a military grade weapon is the way of doing it.
No.
So let's use our senses and let's come to an agreement and do something that can save our youth and continue to make society better. And let's not just stop with Broward County. How about we go to these at-risk areas? You know what I'm saying? Like, I would say in these ghettos. You know what I mean? Like, what's stopping folks from fixing like the likes of maybe like a Chicago, who's commonly in the news for the killings that they have a year in and year out. Any other area where there's a lot of deaths being done amongst people, whether that's gang related or drug related. But let's make sure that we take a stand on everything, because again, it affects us all, right? So let me see here. So Eb, I got a question for you. So over the past weekend, I met my significant other's parents. I mean, my her mom or whatever. And so I asked you, when is the right time to bring your I would say the person you a person of interest around your I would say your family, your parent. When do you feel like is the right time?
I mean, if it's like something that is turning out to be like really, really serious, and y'all start, hey, long term, start, talking about long term, I would say that would be a great time, to introduce to the family. I know like my family goes through along, like as soon as you start dating somebody, I want to be them. I'm like, I don't even know if I'm going to be serious with this person for a while. Why would I introduce somebody to you that might not be, around much longer? But I think as soon as, you start talking about long-term, serious relationship stuff, then by all means. Actually, when I met my in-laws, I don't even think we weren't even dating that long. I think maybe not even a year. And I met his family, and I think the person knew, so I was like, what are you doing, But yeah, I mean, I guess I must have been one of those that you trust to take home. Like,
Yeah.
Even if it wasn't long-term serious, there's one of those, and he's like, hey, I'll let you meet, I want you to meet my family, and that shows that it could, this possibility is going somewhere,
Right.
I don't think there's a point time or a right time too early, like right away, like, hey, I just went on my first date with somebody, hey, I want you to meet my parents. That's kind of scary for the in person.
Do you feel like, for you being a woman meeting your man's and I would say parents, do you feel the need that you need to bring something, like, I know as far as a guy standpoint, but as far as like a you being the woman, do you feel like you need to, like, you feel like it's courtesy for you to bring something to them or her?
I didn't bring nothing. I don't think you have to. I didn't bring nothing for the date. So I was looking when I brought myself. I think it is nice to bring them something. That would be nice, to do that.
Yeah.
I don't think that's something that you have to do. I'm pretty sure some people's parents expect that. So if it was an expectation that that your parents would have, then by all means, if it's something that they're expecting. But if they're not, if it's not something that they don't expect, I would feel appreciative. So I would leave it to you at all. That would be up to you,
Yeah.
And hopefully, the individuals are invited, to meet parents or whoever for the first time. That I like to call it the briefing. That kind of gives you a rundown, as to how those individuals are. If you're not, caught off guard, or you're not being seen as somebody who's disrespecting their parents, or this and that. Hopefully, that say, hey, I don't want to take family.
Yeah.
But, give you the rundown on all this, and then hopefully their family will also know what's going on with their significant other that they're with. So I think that's very important. But bringing something, I didn't bring nothing. I brought myself a suitcase.
I mean, me.
I wouldn't even stay at a hotel and
Yeah, me being the gentleman that I am, of course, I would. I definitely, I brought something, to meet her, and it was a good time, for a lot of laughs, you know what I mean. So it was, I think it really went well. Nervous. It's funny. It's almost like maybe before. It's like that type of feeling you get before a basketball game. Or like before, that's like Beyonce says, before she goes on stage, she gets like, she's nervous. She's always nervous before she goes on stage, but once you're on that stage, that's home for you, and that's what that's really what it was. So I wouldn't say nervous or anything. I felt at ease, and I definitely wasn't going to. I definitely wasn't allowing anything to go horribly bad or anything like that. So I felt it went well, and so we'll see how things go from there. I mean, let's in years to come, would you hope that your kids would would bring their I would say their significant others around you, or like, for instance, like for my I think my parents got married after 3 months, and I think my mom brought my dad to meet my grandma within that 3 months before they got married. But it went well. My family doesn't have any issues amongst each other. I think they get along fairly well. And it is always good when it goes that way. And just looking forward to the future, really, building more. And now it's like now it's the opposite. Now it's time for her to meet my clan, and that's I'm sure will be that'll be something to remember, something to talk about at a later date. But overall, it was a good time. I definitely saw the similar traits between the two that you can just like kind of put together, which I'm sure Jeff could have said the same thing with your mom. You know what I'm saying? And you. Yeah, for sure. So it was fun with that. So, with all that being said, so do you have a rant for me before we shut it down?
I do. I got a small little Facebook rant.
Okay.
Now look at here, y'all. When people post on Facebook that they lost a loved one. It's not. I feel sorry for your loss. LOST. It is LOSS. What I hate is when people misspell stuff constantly. Hold on real quick. Jeff is calling. Hold on, let me see if I can get him on the show.
Yeah, let me get him rant. Let me get that rant.
So yeah, stop saying.
So yeah,
Nigga, hold on. Let me go back to the show. Hello?
Yeah.
Oh my bad. So yeah, stop saying lost. LOST is lost. LOSS.
Yeah.
Check your spelling before you put something on Facebook.
Where is McGilly? Is he on the phone?
Oh yeah, hold on. Let me join the call.
Yeah, come on now, Android. Bear with us, folks.
I don't know how to join this call.
Please bear with us, Lord.
Yeah, I can't join the call.
Old folks in that technology. But that's fine. He don't have to make the show. We'll work that out.
Yeah, that means I need to upgrade.
Yeah, definitely upgrade. So the good news is that come payday, we should be returning back to iTunes. So for all you Apple users, and let me merge. Yeah, is that McGillicuddy? Yeah, McGillicuddy.
McGillicuddy.
Yeah, they call him. Charlotte. Yeah, Charlemagne, we live. Yeah, you on right now, man.
Word.
Yeah. So let me ask you, before for my comic relief, man, were you nervous meeting Ebony's folks for the first time?
Hell no.
See? Yeah.
Hey, man. Me and her mom didn't get along the first time we met, man. She ain't like, won't be real. She still don't. I don't think she ever liked to tell you the truth. I'll be 100.
Jesus, man.
Yeah. She said something that I'm not gonna say she lied on me, but she said something I did not like. She said I was rude to her or something, or whatever, or something she said, and like a lot of people in the family didn't like me for it.
Yeah.
Are you there?
Yeah, we listening.
Yeah.
Charlemagne, we live.
And her brother said something to me, and and I had to tell him, no, don't talk to me like that. I'll put him in his place. No, you didn't, man. I don't know why you keep saying that. He got cussed out. I put him in his place. Don't know. No. Don't even do that.
Hey, that's that. Look.
That. Out in front of your family.
That's family business.
Zero regret, yo.
Yeah. Word. That's family business, man.
You don't know me. You don't talk to me like that. Get along like that anyway. So yeah, I'll go him in a minute. Yo, man, I ain't even gonna lie, man. I was close. I was just waiting for him to do something when we went home for the mom's funeral. Cause, man, if he would have did something to Pete, Ebony, y'all probably would have choked him out, yo. I swear I would probably choke that motherfucker out.
Well.
I was just waiting. My temper was already up. I don't like funerals. I don't like being bothered. Man, I was on edge. I ain't gonna lie, I was on edge the whole time.
Just evil now.
So I'm not even dude. I don't like funerals. I don't like going to funerals. I don't like being around funerals. What does Ebony say? So, back onto the subject, Jeff. You going into deep? I'm just saying, man. It's like I'm going too deep.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Okay, so really, I was wondering, definitely. At first, it was an awkward situation because, like, my parents were from a whole different era where you bringing somebody home and you're not married to them, you're not sleeping in the same room. His family was completely different. I swear I thought they were trying to get me impregnated by him any day. Nah, man.
Yeah.
Hey, man, y'all know. My dad and my mom know the pimp in my blood, not relation, whatever.
You gotta put that chocolate. You gotta put that chocolate bar in the wrapper. You gotta put it in the wrapper, Charles.
I said this is something they can set up or something. I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah, man.
No, man, they don't. I mean, come on, man. They already got grandchildren. You know what I'm saying? My parents don't care. They already know, man. I used to bring girls home. What's wrong with you? My game,
Hey, listen, man. We did.
Hey, Ebony.
Hey.
The reason I'm called Deacon Balls.
Oh Lord, listen. Hey, listen. I goddamn it. I gotta shut this shit down. He talking about balls.
On
This fool talking about. He's talking about balls and shit. Listen, we'll be back on we'll be back on iTunes very soon. Appreciate y'all being patient with us. But from Karumbe, Sugar Booger, and myself, Romy Mac, we out. Peace. God bless.